Good everyone, welcome to this video. Today it's a first flight of the Japanese Corsair, aka the Japsair. Now, I wanted this thing for so long. Those of you that know me personally, in Wartham and everything, you know I've wanted this bird for so dang long. And it was well worth the wait. This first flight is just one of the great battles I had, and I've only had 2 or 3 in this thing. The second flight was a 6-kill game. And this is the first. I only got 3, unfortunately, but even so, more than showcases what this aircraft is capable of. And I knew she was going to be good, and I'm well happy I got her. So the Japanese Corsair, in real life, I think the Japanese technically captured 2 Corsairs. And obviously, they used the parts from the second one, obviously that was more damaged, to repair the first one. Now, I'm not sure if they actually. I believe they test flew it. If I remember rightly, they did test fly it and they did experience it, like the power of the engine that this thing has, because it's got power, people. She has got power. Um, and let me tell you, this thing, if you keep her speed up, she's just gonna go and go and go. It's like if you tell me that there's a oh, it's like if you tell me that food's arrived downstairs and it's Chinese. I will be straight down, and this thing can do the same. I do love Chinese food, but trust me, it affects your IBS far too badly. But to go over briefly with the aircraft, if you've ever flown the F4U 1A in the US tree, you've flown this bird. It's just it fights against them. And I don't see many, in fact, I haven't seen any Corsairs, if I remember rightly. But let me tell you, this thing is an absolute beast of a plane. That I do have to say. So obviously, with it being, obviously, rank 2, BR 2.7, it is going to have a few counters. Obviously, with the US Corsairs, I believe they get, well, they get better fuel, but to be honest, I don't even know if that's true. And to be honest, it just depends how your team is. Obviously, with it being Axis teams, you'll have a mix of aircraft. And if your team doesn't pull your weight or their weight, you will have to work hard. And obviously, with the Allied planes having comparable performance to you, you're going to have your work cut out for you. Don't get me wrong, this thing can bloody do it. I'll tell you right now, this thing can do it. But according to DTT and Shortbus, this thing has its flight model played around with a lot. Don't know if that's true. I'm just going off what they say, but I'll be the judge. So when I got the P39K, they said they didn't like it and everything, and I just said I'll be the judge. That's one of my things that I always say. If someone says to me that it's a bad aircraft or like it's a bad tank, I'll say I'll be the judge, because obviously they may not have as much experience as me, such as with US aircraft, because I love US aircraft and I know exactly how to fly them. But obviously, with it being a Japanese Corsair on the Axis side, if I know how to fly this thing, I will keep it that way. I won't dogfight. I won't do anything like that. I'll keep her speed up. If I don't get a kill, I'll just keep on going. But obviously, with it being a Corsair, she's a powerhouse, and I'll tell you right now, she is an absolute beast. I've obviously had a couple of flights. Like I say, I haven't flown as much as I thought I would, just because I've been spayed in so much different stuff. Like the IRL 44 tank destroyer, I've spaded that. You'll be getting that soon enough. You've got the AMX 13 DCA 40 anti-aircraft to look forward to in the future. Very nice tank, I have to say. Well, SPAA, I have to say that. All I'll say is the game I'm going to show you is a 1 in a million. But it's well worth the approximately 20 minutes of your time. So, obviously, Dusk map, we are on Zhengzhou. Japanese Corsair. Squad of 3 Corsairs. Even if our team sucks, which for the most part it somewhat did, we can work hard. Now there is going to be a bit of discussion from our bombers, so I'm just going to leave that up if you are curious. Obviously, climb rate this thing. It's Corsair. She doesn't exactly climb the best, but she doesn't climb the worst, is all I'll say. However, sorry, just scratching my ear here. However, there is going to be a guy on the enemy team named Max62683. He's going to be a bit of a whiny shit. And we honestly didn't know why. Like, we're in Corsairs. Do you expect us to come in on the deck? I mean, she's got the performance. Don't get me wrong, this thing can work on the deck. But this is a altitude bird. She needs altitude in order to work. Obviously, with it being an American plane, you are going to want to fly it properly. If I see people turn fighting things like, I don't know, buffaloes in this thing or hurricanes, I'm just going to cringe. And I'm just going to say, well, you brought this on yourself. So at this point, if I remember rightly, I'll just go to the camera view here. Short bus is going to go for that aisle 4, if I remember rightly. I know a teammate's just gone for it and damaged it. I said at this point, though, I might as well have a crack at it. But I believe it's around about this point. Obviously, I'm diving into coming up short bus. I believe it's when my doorbell goes, because I remember my doorbell going off during this game. Yes, it's during this moment. This is where I have to go AFK for a moment. I'm just looking around me. Obviously, IO4, he's just been set alight twice by short bus, but he doesn't get the kill. The fires go out. And obviously, I look back and I just say to him, mate, the fires are out. But here comes Mr. Max. Obviously, he is going to be a bit of a whiny shit. I don't get why, because, well, he had the option to not engage us, yet he saw us and came up to engage. Logic. Obviously, I'm pushing him down. He obviously, for some reason, decides to pull back up. I honestly don't understand why, because, well, he knows a Corsair will whoop his ass. And I thought, well, I'm at 0.6 of a mile. I'll keep the speed on, and you can see the speed is just insane. She's pushing 500 almost, and she could go a lot further. But I decided, no, there's no point chasing him down on the deck. I'm going to lose all my altitude. I'll just stick my nose back up. I did score a couple of hits, but for the most part, I'll just stick my nose up, and I will just keep on going. Honestly, this is probably one of the finest aircraft to fly. And it's just a shame that it's limited by allied teams, so I don't see these very often, like Corsairs in general. But a well-flown Corsair is something to be something to be feared. In real life, it was practically impossible for a Zero to keep up with a Corsair, simply due to the Corsair's speed and engine retention. Obviously, as a power, it's got like 2200 horse. This thing's got the horse. I'll tell you that right now. If you think something like a Lamborghini has got horsepower of like 700, this thing's got 2200. She can work. So obviously at this point, me and DTT, we are nearing their airfield. For some reason, we just decided to fly over here. We spotted a couple of dots in the clouds. We're just obviously keeping an eye out around us. And we're just waiting to see what goes off. Obviously, our bombers have done their job for the most part. Some of our fighters have died, but they have gotten at least one kill, which I guess is something. And here it goes in chat. Don't you think you overdid the damn side climb? Now, I'm not sure what his mentality is, because, well, it's a Corsair. You're not meant to fly this thing like a turn fighter, are you? But hey, if we take a look, he's level 43. You'd expect him to have some brain cells. But hey, he's in a French plane. Chances are he doesn't have any. Or he just has baguettes on his mind. Probably the latter. But But obviously we're just flying around for the moment. You may think, well, said 3 kills on a replay. This is getting a bit. We're getting to the 10-minute mark now. Where's the action? Don't worry, it's coming. That's why I'm putting it on 4 times speed. Obviously, I just did a little cheeky aileron roll to have a look. Obviously, I was going to dive through the clouds to see if I could find anything. But obviously, our mate Max, he's come back up at altitude to fight 3 Japsairs. Toad takes a head-on, does a bit of damage. He takes a bit of damage himself, if I remember rightly. Short Boss, obviously, he's going to go for a crack at him. And I really don't get why this guy thought this was a smart idea. The Corsair completely outperforms the MS-410 apart from maneuverability. What was this guy thinking? A squad of 3 Japsairs, and you think that was smart. And then he does this, and I'm just there like, oh, this is easy. Cheers, short, for that bait. And, well, 205 comes in to try and nick it, as per usual. But, there we go. That little shit's dealt with. First kill for me. If I remember rightly, it does go on a bit more in chat, but I'm not bothered, to be honest. He had the option. And there we go, 15 minutes wasted on climbing. Hope you had fun. Well, we shot you down, you little shit, so that's all that matters. Now, for some reason, the P40F pilot in chat puts, I'm out of ammo. I really don't understand why you would put that in all chat when you know that players are probably going to come hunting you now. I then put in chat, pick up your toys that you threw out your pram, kid, with a smiley face. Well, a winky face, sorry. Unfortunately, he did not stay to see that comment, because otherwise it would have been even funnier. One guy asked in chat what the fuck is a pram, and I had to briefly explain it, because obviously you would technically call it a pushchair, but obviously I just call it a pram, it's easier. I just wanted to say British way of saying it. You can say pushchair and everything, I just call it a pram. I've always called it a pram. So we're diving in, obviously Short Boss is probably going to want to secure this one, but we both go for it. And I thought I hit Short Boss there, but we clean up the aisle 4. I said to Short, did I hit you, mate? And he said no. And I was like, phew, because 50s can do a lot of damage. Second kill for me. Technically the fire was out, so it was fair game. So you can't really call me a kill stealer. P40F, obviously, we know he's out of ammunition. And, well, 50s are just as effective at burning American planes as they are Japanese. Third and final kill. Obviously, at this point, 205 is going for that lag 3. DTT's gone back to base for a repair. And me and Short Boss are just going to... Well, we're going to go intercept a flight of 2 I-16s. We knew they were there. I think they've been ground pounded, if I remember right. They were hunting bombers. And we are going to go and try and intercept them. I think there's definitely some form of earwax in my ear, because I've got a really bad ear for some reason. It's not an ear infection, because I never get those. Never had one, actually. Yeah, whatever. I'll live. If I drop dead, then, well, there's enough videos to keep you going for a bit, so... You can remember me by when the Nassau and Spade reviews and the bonus video. Oh wait, that's a spoiler. I'm only kidding. I'll tell you guys about it. You obviously know about it anyway if you're in the Discord. If you do want a Discord server link, please just put it in your comment with obviously saying your opinion of the Japsair or like things like that. And well, I'll give you a Discord server link the moment I see it. Well, not the moment I see it, because obviously I might be busy, but I'll give you it as soon as I can. Now, for some reason, there's a guy in chat saying to save the F4U Fatso on my way, and then he's like, that NSA observer's just like, leave him alone, you dicks. He's a support beluga. No, he isn't. A beluga is a cargo aircraft, even I know that. That 111, if I remember rightly, crashes on landing, but whatever. Now I do screw up my shooting here because obviously I didn't know if they had ammo or not because obviously they've been busy. And I do score, I think if I remember right, I did score a hit against that I-16. But obviously I am not taking my chances with an I-16. I'm keeping my speed up and I'm going to pull it vertical into a nice rollover. This thing has pretty much done any maneuver I want it to. And I'm just amazed by it. It is such a relaxing plane to fly, and I cannot wait to do a review on this thing. So obviously, me and Short, we're obviously cleaning up these guys pretty well. Obviously, I've baited, and Short has taken out the first I-16, and I'm closing rapidly on this poor sod. There's nothing this I-16 can do, except for turn, which he does a sharp left bank, and obviously I cannot follow that. But don't worry, there's more than where that came from for this poor sod. Obviously he pulls it vertical, Short lays a bit of hurt on him, and I believe it's the 205 that finishes him off for this game. Yep, he's just been set on fire by the 205. Short bus for some reason goes for the kill steal. No, he doesn't get it, which I'm sort of glad. But even so, that is the end of the game, and that's the end of the first impressions of the Japs there. So like I say, perfectly good aircraft. It handles so nicely. I have to say that, like, when you get this thing on an allied team, it fucking sucks half the time because you have to fight Axis shit, which half the time you just not got, like, you've got the performance, but when your entire team's dead against half a freaking German and Italian and Japanese team, it's a lot of work. But when you fly it on an Axis team, when you fight the Allies, I'm gonna have some fun. But anyway, the last of the first flights for now that will be done in replays will be the Hijiri's A5M4, the Key 44-2, and the 197. Those are the last ones. Obviously, apologies for the three that I've obviously done. Obviously, the Pacifier, the Japser, and the P39K. Sorry for those being in replays, but did want to get them flown as soon as possible, and I'm well glad I did. But anyway, I'll let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's video on the Japser, and I will see you all on the next one.